Hi guys, we are going to do a quick review for the map testing for multiplying and dividing fractions. So get out a piece of paper and let's get started. So let's just remember, do a quick looking at improper and mixed fractions. So remember, if you have an improper fraction, that means the numerator is bigger than denominator. So if you want to change that to a mixed number, you simply divide. Okay, you simply divide. So 7 goes into 38 5 times. There's 3 left over. You bring your remainder on top, keep the same denominator, okay? And then if I want to turn my mixed number into an improper, I'm going to multiply first. So 8 times 5 is 40, and then add the top. So that's 43, keep the same denominator, 43/8, okay? So you're going to need that when you multiply and divide fractions, all right? All right, so let's just remember that multiplying mixed fractions, the first thing you have to do, well, if I have just regular fractions, let's say 3/4 times 5/8, I simply multiply straight across, multiply my numerators and multiply my denominators. If you want to do any canceling, you can. In this one particular one, I cannot, so I'm going to multiply straight across, and I get 15/32, okay? All right, so if we have mixed numbers, the first thing I have to do is I have to turn them improper. That's the first thing I have to do, all right? So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5/3, times 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9/4, okay? All right, then you multiply straight across. That gives you 45/12. That is an improper fraction because the numerator is higher than the denominator, so I'm going to divide. So 12 goes into 45 3 times, that's 36. I have 9 left over, bring my remainder on top, keep the same denominator, okay? That I can simplify both of those, divide them both by 3. My whole number stays the same, and I get 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, okay? Now, if you would have canceled here, look, my 3 and 9 have 3 in common, so I'm going to divide by 3, then I would have come out with 3 times 5 is 15/4. So 4 goes into 15 3 times, that's 12, 3/4 left over. Okay, so canceling is helpful, all right? All right, I'm not gonna do one with you. You have 5 problems to do. If you need help with those, go back and watch that video again, or I will actually give you another link to a longer video if you need that, okay? So pause the video and come back when you have your answers. All right, so I'm going to check those 5 problems tomorrow. So let's move on to dividing fractions, okay? Dividing mixed fractions. So remember when we were talking about dividing, we have to look at the reciprocal, okay? So that's important. So a reciprocal is just that number flipped. So if I have 3/4, its reciprocal would be to flip it. So that would be 4/3, okay? Now, if I have a mixed number, then that means I have to find an improper fraction first, then flip it. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1, that would be 4/3. So its reciprocal would be 3/4, okay? 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13/6. So its reciprocal would be 6/13. If I have 5 as a fraction, that would just be 5/1. So when its reciprocal would be 1/5. All right. All right, so that is important. So when we work with fractions, remember we're going to keep, change, and flip. Keep, change, and flip. So you're going to keep the first fraction as is, so 3/4. You change it to a multiplication problem. So I'm going to change that to a multiplication problem, and I flip the second number, or I'm multiplying by its reciprocal, okay? Then it simply becomes just a multiplication problem like what we just did. So you can multiply straight across and you get 6/4, okay? That is improper. So how many 4s goes into 6? 1, and there's 2/4 left, okay? 2/4, I can divide both of those by 2, so it gives me 1.5. All right. All right, so let's move to mixed numbers then. So if I have mixed numbers, the first thing I have to do is turn them in proper. Anytime I'm multiplying or dividing, if I have mixed numbers, the first thing I have to do is turn them in proper. First thing. All right, so let's do that. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11/2, divided by, multiply. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3. All right, so now it's a division problem. So I'm going to keep, change, and then flip, okay? Now it's simply a multiplication problem, like what we just did, so I'm gonna multiply straight across. So that gives me 33/8. That's improper, so I'm gonna divide. 8 goes into 33 4 times. I have 1 left over, so I bring my remainder on top, keep the same denominator, and that's my answer. Okay. I'm going to do one more. If you don't need this problem, then just fast forward. All right, so this would be 33/5 divided by 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11/3. So I'm going to keep, change, and flip. Okay. Multiply straight across, that gives me 99/55. Okay, I'm going to divide that by 11 because those are really big numbers, so I can recognize those are both multiples of 11. So that gives me 9/5. That's improper. How many 5s goes into 9? That's 1. Bring your remainder on top, keep the same denominator. Okay. All right, so here is 5 division problems for you to work on. All right, so pause the video and do those 5 problems. So I'm going to collect the 5 multiplication problems and the 5 division problems tomorrow. All right. This is your review for the map, so you need to make sure that you get all of this completed. All right. Have a great day.